In this week's parasha, the Torah describes the beautiful clothing of the Kohen Gadol, the 8 garments that he would wear. And one garment is called the ephod, which was a type of an apron. And the great commentator Rashi struggles to describe exactly what it looked like because the Torah doesn't really imply clearly what this garment looked like. Yes, there are some clues. It had shoulder straps, it had a belt, we're told what it was made out of. But how exactly it was worn is unclear. And it's at this point that Rashi says something incredible. He says, and my heart tells me that the ephod was like a back-to-front apron, not dissimilar to the type of clothing that is worn by aristocratic noble women when they go riding on horses. Now, why is that such an amazing statement of Rashi? Rashi, as we know, was the greatest biblical commentator, the greatest Talmudic commentator, and it tells us about how he used to think about life and the world. Rashi clearly one day was walking out in his native France, and there he saw there were some noble women who were riding by on their horses. And he had a look at their clothing, and he thought to himself, oh, that must be how the ephod looked. He suddenly had one of those eureka moments, oh, that must be how it looked. So for Rashi, when he went out and he looked out at the world, what immediately made an impression on him is, how could he use the world to describe the Torah? His view, his observation point, the way that he looked at life is to look at the world, to look at the natural world, to look at the world that was made by men, and then to use that to explain the Torah. I remember that I was once driving in a car with my late mother, and we passed by a whole lot of palm trees. And I said to my mother, wow, that would be great schach for Sukkot. We could use those palm branches to make a sukkah on Sukkot. And she said to me, you know, is that how you look at a palm tree? That all the worth of a palm tree is to provide schach for Sukkot. But in a way, that's what Rashi did. He looked at the world and he thought to himself, how can we use the world to better serve Hashem? How can we use the world to do the mitzvot? This is really how a Jew should look and how they should observe at everything that God created. How can we use the things that God created, that man created, to better explain the Torah and to observe the mitzvot? I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.